Our next student of the month is Dalton Lay. Dalton, come on up, please.
Is this working? Oh, oh. Um, Dalton, is Dalton here? All right. Dalton Lay, he is one of my sixth graders. Um, Solid kid. He comes in, he gets his business done. He is constantly going around when he is finished and he is helping other students navigate, whether it's electronics or assignments or whatever it is. So I will hand this to him tomorrow. Great kid, good parents, solid.
I know. And Mr. Jeff's last student of the month is Amara Campbell.
All right. Amara is, I've had her for 3 years now. She is silent. She goes to work. She comes in, doesn't bother anybody. I don't have to hound her for assignments. She keeps me posted on things that I don't see sometimes, so that's good. But yeah, she has really stepped it up. Not that it was lacking at the beginning, but every year I've seen improvement with her. So I'm really proud of her and well deserved. You're very welcome. That's all for tonight. Thank you.
Is Mrs. Harrison here? Oh, Trish, yep. Okay, Mrs. Harrison has Akima Staggerwald as her student of the month. Akima, come on up.
All right. I chose Akima for my student of the month because they have such a great attitude, strong work ethic, pretty much all the things that you want in a student. If you be a great class to have. Very curious, interested in learning, really impressed. They've joined the newspaper, joined the academic bowl. So I'm just really impressed with how much they've taken on. I'm looking how much you grow in the next 4 years. Let's go.
Thanks, Trish. Mrs. Ellis, if you could come on up, and Cora Schick is her student of the month.
This is Cora. I chose Cora because Cora came into my classroom this year and she needed a little bit extra help, but she is just growing so much this year. And Cora is not afraid to ask for help anytime she needs it. She'll ask for help from her teachers. She'll ask for help from the other students. She takes home anything extra she needs to take home on her own because she wants to work and grow. And I really give a shout out to her parents as well because they are always asking what can we do to help Cora, which is awesome. And she just always has a smile on her face and is excited about anything that we're doing in class. So thank you, Cora.
Thanks, Heather.
And Mrs. Shear, her student of the month is Kensley Carper. Come on up, Kensley. Oh, sure.
All right, since the beginning of the school year, I've had the privilege of watching her grow tremendously, academically, socially, and in her confidence. She consistently puts forth her best effort, she completes her work thoughtfully, and she asks questions when she needs help, and she's always willing to do whatever it takes. Her positive attitude and kindness make her a joy to have in our classroom. I'm incredibly proud of her progress that she's made so far, and I'm excited to see all that she will continue to accomplish. So good job, Kensley.
Thank you. At this time, can I have all students of the month out in the hallway here so I can take everyone's picture. And then students of the month and parents, you're free to leave after this if you'd like.
And while they are going out in the hall, we are going to honor the cross country team. So, Mr. Prokop.
All right. So we wanted to recognize our high school varsity cross country team after the incredible season that they had this year. Cross country is one of those interesting sports because it doesn't always get the recognition that it deserves simply because it's not played necessarily in the gymnasium or at the soccer field. And so usually it's parents at the race, and that's kind of it. And so this year our team was doing very well, and I'm going to let Baker and Doyle kind of go over all the results. I want them to get the honors on this. But we were this summer kind of looking to figure out what we were doing with our cross-country team. Doyle is a busy man. He wears many hats and helps out, I think, at like 57 different million places. And so he came to me and was like, hey, I want to help out, but I can't be the lead guy. And so after kind of thinking about it, I was like, there's a teacher here that I hear doesn't know how to say no. And so Coach Baker was approached, coaching track already. And I said, hey, this could be an opportunity. Little do you know, Coach Baker, you almost got that same phone call today real quick. But Baker was like, yeah, absolutely. And so him and Doyle made a great team, and along with our junior high group, and had just an incredible run. And like I said, I want you guys to kind of talk about the highlights. I know one of my biggest highlights was Wayne 15 coming out. So I also mentioned that. But Coach Baker and Coach Doyle, if you guys want to come up here first, I'll let you guys kind of talk about your team, and then also introduce each one of your guys individually and have them come up here as well. Just kind of stand towards the middle so our camera can catch everything. So, Coach Baker.
Let's do it in a different order if we can. Why don't you do the entrance, and then I'll do the after that. So why don't you start with a word or two, and then I'll.
Dave was right. I had planned on not coaching this year. I was helping up at Trine some, and I was helping with a couple of kids at Angola. And Andy called me about a week before and said, I'm going to do this. Could you just tell me some things that you did last year? And so I knew they could be really good because I had coached them the year before. So Andy's a really close friend of mine. And Dave's right. I'm really busy, but I'm going to tell you something. There's nobody here busier than that man. He takes care of his father-in-law. He takes care of people in this church. And I thought if he can do it, I'm going to do it. So I ended up and I did it, and I had set the season up like I did last year. At the end of the season, we only had 2 meets in like the last 6 weeks. And I did that because I wanted to train them through. I didn't want to race. And that was a mistake because kids need to learn to race, and I don't really feel like these guys had learned to race. Andy and Dave set up a couple meets in Ohio, and it was at that first meet in Ohio we ran against 5 Ohio teams, and we won. And at the mile mark, I was standing yelling the times, and Robert Schick, who was basically our number one guy most of the year, ran by me, and he was holding his stomach, and he said, I'm sick. And I thought, oh, boy. And so I started yelling at the other guys, and I'm like, look, if he drops out, we're in trouble. So you guys have got to move up. You got to pick it up. And Abbott and Copper and Lucas and the Diltzes and Summers, they all did. They all moved up, and then he ended up and didn't drop out, and we end up and we win the meet. And that was when I knew, okay, we can be pretty good. And we ran him through some really hard workouts. Like if you've never done it, you can't imagine how hard it is. It's not fun. I used to do it all the time. I didn't enjoy it all the time, but they ate it up and did it. They didn't complain. Other than Lingo, he complained. But anyway, they ran really good, and I pick on Abbott because I love the kid, but he saved us a couple of times at West Noble. He ended up being our third guy. Our front 2 guys, we could always count on them. We had Copper, we had Diltzes, and we had Summers, and it worked out to be a perfect team, and he's really a great guy to coach with. It ended up being really the perfect marriage of coaching. He does a lot of things really well that I don't do well. I do some things that he doesn't do, and it worked out really well. But these guys worked very, very hard, and I hope that the kids at the school, more than anything, realize we're smaller than everybody, so what? If you will go out and work hard, and believe me, they worked hard. I know there were times they didn't like me and Coach Baker, but they worked really hard, and they were good. They PR'd at the end. The junior high kids all PR'd at the end. We end up winning the conference. We get 2 guys to regional, and we can do better than that even next year if we can get up a program, you guys, this summer and run. You guys may end up being one of the best teams, if not the best team that ever went here. I just wish Larson would flunk his senior year and could come back, but I don't think his parents are going to let him. Anyway, for you parents out there, thank you. I thank the Diltses for moving here, but all you guys, you're awesome. I mean, coaching you guys has really been one of the highlights of my life. It really has. I had 3 goals when this started. I wanted to do well at the West Noble Invitational, and we did. I thought we could win our conference, and you did. And I wanted to get at least 2 guys to regional, and we did that. So thank you guys, for everything.
Yeah, and I got that communication from Mr. Prokop, and I remember I was like, okay, I will do this if Doyle helps. And he was going to be around a little. He missed 1, maybe 2 practices the whole season. So he made sure he was there, and he's the expertise in the running and all that. I got to do the administrative stuff and all that and try to keep him from blowing his top and encouraging the kids along the way. So let's go ahead and have the guys come up here. Well, let's work. Do we want to announce them, or did you want them just? All right. Grayson, come on up. Grayson Diltz, freshman. So Grayson worked really hard, and he's coming first time here at Hamilton, and but it was a good experience for him as a freshman out there. He kept improving throughout the year. We got Marcus Summers, another freshman. Good job, Marcus. He really had some lights out races. Sometimes his legs were having some issues, and he was battling with some of that through the season, but he just kept fighting hard. Once again, we have a lot of freshmen, which is a beautiful thing for the future to come. So Abbott, Lingo, as we comment frequently, probably the least happy person out here, but I don't know if we win conference without him, and some of those things. He really did a nice job for us. He's so talented. He just has to embrace the talent on the cross-country field. So let's see. Do we have another? Oh, yes, we do. Lucas Taylor, come on down. And coaching track in the spring, we saw just something special out of Lucas. He is just a competitor. He just hates to get beat. And already as a freshman, he was already right there in number 2, right behind Robert. And once again, he picked up the one meet where he had to when Robert was struggling. And great to see a freshman getting out to regionals. That's an awesome feat for him, and he'll continue to grow and get better on that. Then we've got Copper Farnham. So Copper is a junior, steady. I'm going to say Copper is steady. He is just ready to go out and go, and he's one who every now and then has that burst that just he can take off. You love to watch him finish a race, and he takes a lot of people out as he's finished and coming through. So he's just steady, and I love his character and just his drive. So then we've got Robert Schick. Come on down. So mentioned at the sports meeting, he has the opportunity, if he keeps his legs going, as he will, and keep working at it, he could be the first person to be a 3-peat to regionals from Hamilton. So that would be an awesome feat. So he's he's led us all year and matured and just kept running. He was, he was just that anchor. Every time we counted on him, he was out there working hard on it. So it was awesome. And our leader, Larson Diltz. So as we said before, the only disappointing thing with Larson is we had 1 year of him. So just exudes character, exudes what you want in an athlete. And I love to see what he'll do in the basketball season. We're thankful that HSA was kind and let him participate with us. So that was a great thing. So, but it's an awesome group. I've coached a lot of places or a lot of teams. I had no drama. You don't know how nice that is. And I'm like, where has this coaching been all my life? They go out and they run. And I've been doing all this other stuff. It was a wonderful time. These are great guys. Just fun to be with them. And Doyle's amazing. He's always got great stories. He is a motivator. Doyle could make you believe that you could win anything. And that's a great quality, and it really is. And he builds them up. So appreciate it, and just really proud of what these guys have done and what they are going to do.
And thank you very much. And thank you, coaches and cross-country team. And Robert, I have a question for you. Do you have your driver's license yet? 19 days. I don't know if you need a car. You can just run to school every morning. There you go. Yeah. Forrest Gump, Mr. Lucas says. So thank you, guys. And we're going to start our meeting here real soon. You're free to leave. You don't have to stay for the meeting. You're welcome to stay, but you may leave. Thank you very much. I'm going to need to. Thanks, Julie.
It was a nice turn. Yeah, I did.
All right, we're going to call the meeting to order. Mr. Dr. Reichert will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, sorry we did that a little bit out of order with the Students of the Month not being in the official board meeting due to some timing of everybody getting here and different meetings, and thank you to the rest of the board for allowing us to move it to today so I could watch my daughter's basketball game and April could watch her son's basketball game. So that's important stuff. So unfortunately we lost a kind of a close one last night, but okay. So the Student Month obviously out of the way. I know we have one changed addition to the agenda. So Mr. Reichert.
Yes, today we received a resignation from our girls varsity basketball coach, Chris Tadson, and I will add that to under the personnel report. We will add Roman numeral 2, which will be resignations, and we'll add Chris Tadson's name to that as you approve the personnel report.
Okay, just need a motion for the approval of the agenda with the addition of, would be CII, I guess, right?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of the resignation of Chris Tadson.
I second that.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. No patron participation, I don't think, tonight.
Do we have
See anything?
Do we have any yellow cards over there, ladies? Can you see? Is anyone here to speak? Okay, thank you. If not, we can move on to the consent agenda. We have A, the claims docket, B, the approval of the minutes for 3 different meetings. Personnel report, new hire Dakota Fuller as a custodian, Delaney, help me out, Nubelhler? Thank you. And Keith Lockoff as a custodian. And I want to say that at this time that we have terminated our contract with Mid-America. And as a result of that, we want to hire Keith back onto the HCS roles. Keith has not had a raise with Mid-America for over 5.5 years and was making less than what you could make if you were working at McDonald's these days. So Keith will get a significant increase in salary, and we're glad to have him back at HCS. And we also will approve Dakota Fuller, but he's also given us notice that Friday will be his last day. So he has decided that this is not the best for him. And Brad Hennessy is working on a replacement and has one, and we'll be looking and approving that replacement at our next board meeting. Also, D, receipt of funds, we have none. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any. Otherwise, you can approve the consent items.
So just one thing before we do that, just the interesting thing with Keith, he worked for the school forever. And then I think it was probably 12 years ago, we decided to sub that out. And then now we're not subbing it out again. So it's just basically him flipping from us to them and back to us. But long story short, does anybody know how many years he's been here? Since 84. Wow. So 41 years. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
driving from Ohio to get here.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd mention that I don't think Keith's going anywhere. He's just a mainstay of Hamilton schools, and it's hard to come in here in the afternoon and evenings without seeing Keith. So with that, all we need is a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, we will move on to new business. And the first item is A, which is the approval of a $500 supplemental payment to our 3 special education teachers, Monica Farnham, Naomi Miller, and Michelle Warner. And the reason why I'm recommending that is that the State Department of Education this year redid how you put in IEPs into the system. It was quite a disaster from the DOE standpoint. These 3 ladies stayed up many, many nights putting in all new IEPs. They could not transfer the old one into the new system. And besides that, they had to conduct their case conferences, which they're currently doing now. $500 does probably not go far enough for all the work that they have done. But when I told them that I was taking this to the board, they were very, very, very thankful to receive the $500 for the extra work that they did. So with that, I'll take any questions, and I also recommend approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the supplemental payment to the special ed teachers.
I second that.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
It just stands out what a great staff we have. I mean, they did not complain, but they had to do all this extra work. So thank the board for your extra $500 for those ladies. Item B, I'm happy to announce that I would like to recommend a 3% raise for the classified staff. The 3% was included in our new budget that we passed for 2025-26. And so if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those, but 3% raises for all our classified staff. That would include bus drivers, custodians, secretaries, aides, cooks, and anyone else you can think of that's not a teacher.
I'll make a motion to approve the 3% raise for classified staff.
Second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? For the record, 1 abstain since my wife works classified.
Okay, so that final vote was 3-0 with one abstaining. Okay. Item C is the approval of raises for administrators and directors. This is central office staff, and we have a range of salaries increases, starting our low at the central office for this year will, with the increase of 2,000 will be 55,000, and we go as high as my salary, which is 110, but I did not receive a raise according to my contract, which is fine. And I also want to point out that included in those raises is that we are adding additional days to two of my administrator contracts, both Mrs. Furness, she's currently on a 205. We need her on a 225-day contract. Mrs. Watkins is currently 210, and we're moving her up to 225 on my recommendation. And we have more kids. We also are giving a lot of tours during the summer months. They are here almost every day during the summer getting unpaid work. And so I think it's prudent for us to add the extra days. They are agreeable to the extra days. I've talked to both of them. But that also significantly will increase their salary increase for this school year. If you have any questions on these, I will be happy to answer any questions from the board.
I'll make a motion to approve the raises for administrators and directors.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
And then item D, we did this last year, and in negotiations with teachers, if we agreed, and we did, and looking at the budget with the extra money that we are receiving from our, why can't I think? Increased enrollment, thank you, Julie. And also from our referendum that we passed last year. This was well received last year by our staff, and I will recommend again for everyone that is an employee except for myself that we give a $500 supplemental pay for both certified and classified staff that's employed as of December 5th, 2025, and that's minus any substitutes, lay coaches, or anyone that's hired off of a grant. It also would include our daycare workers, and that is going very well, and there is money in their budget to be able to do this, and it would be well received by those ladies who are doing a fantastic job with the daycare program. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those, and thanks, Julie, for helping me out with my loss of words.
I'll make a motion to approve the $500 supplemental pay for certified and classified staff.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chalk me up as an abstain again.
Oh, you're abstaining
Yeah.
for that one, okay. 301 on that vote then. It looks like we have time, and I will run through the first reading of Neola. These aren't really anything significant in my opinion. A lot of it is grammatical, but I'll go through these, and if you have any questions, please stop. Policy 2221 is a mandatory curriculum that's been revised to reflect the changes in Indiana law in regards to human sexuality, and we are following those requirements this year. Policy 2410, audio and visual recording of meetings. It prohibits school corporations from adopting a policy that would prohibit parents from tape recording an IEP meeting. And so a parent has the right to tape an IEP meeting, and we cannot prohibit that according to the new state law. Policy 2414, reproductive health. Again, we're correcting terminology in that. Policy 2416 is correcting punctuation on student privacy and parental access. 2623 is student assessment, and that's updating the changes to iLearn and eye read and all the other tests that we give. No significant changes, though, in terms of functionality. 3220, supplemental payment for teachers. Just clarifying that we can give supplemental payments to teachers without negotiating. Policy 5111, determine of legal settlement and eligibility, now allows students to transfer for athletic purposes where before they could not. So anyone other than Mr. Prokop can help me, but I think it's anyone can transfer for athletic reasons except a senior. Nod yes or no? Yes? Okay. Policy 5200, attendance. This is Allie Furness's area. It just clarifies what chronically absent means, and we are up to date on that. Policy 5223, release time for religious instruction, means that we have to allow students during the school day to be released for religious instruction if they so desire. 5517, bullying. No changes there. It's just some word changes. 5600, student discipline, prohibits the suspension or expulsion of a student solely because the student is chronically absent or habitually truant. 5605, suspension, expulsion of students with disabilities, prohibits the suspension or expulsion of a student solely because the student is chronically absent or habitual truant. Even if you have a disability, it's prohibited. And 5610, suspension and expulsion of students, is another update to the language in that particular policy. Same thing with 5611, due process rights. Once again, it's a policy language change. And then policy 5771 is search and seizure, which requires, and you'll kind of get a laugh out of this one in my opinion, it requires that parents be given the opportunity to collect student property if the student has died, transferred, dropped out, or otherwise withdrawn from enrollment in the corporation. Apparently, there were school districts across the state of Indiana who were not allowing parents to come in and claim their students' personal belongings. So again, the state has stepped in and has created a new law, and that's what 5771 involves. And so, Allie, will you quit, please, holding on to student property? Which we are not doing, for those of you listening in. I didn't want to make it, I also want to make sure that people understand that students' death, I'm not belittling that. I'm just belittling the policy that this creates. And that ends our first reading of the new policies. I have 2 more sets on my desk, so we'll keep plugging away. This is from July of this year. So any questions? All right. That ends the new business, Mr. Chairman. Okay.
Guess we're on to the superintendent's report.
I can keep
Mr. Riker.
talking for a while.
Yep. Love
Okay.
that.
I don't have much. As I said before, I just want to make sure that the board's aware that we have terminated Mid-America Cleaning Services. We are now employing the 2 people that used to work for Mid-America, Keith being one. We are now employing him, as we stated earlier, and then we will be in search of a new candidate after Dakota turns in his resignation on Friday. We've had lots of things going on, from sports to athletics to music, and I hope some of you were available to be here. I know some of the board was, as well as maybe people watching in, to be part of the veterans program. It was very well put on. Allie, thank you very much. Mrs. Furness was the one who put that program together. It worked out great. We had a lot of compliments from folks, veterans, and people who attended, and the breakfast was good as well. So the weather hurt us a little bit maybe with some of our veterans since it was raining, but it was a great day for HCS. So with that, I have no other comments unless you have questions for me.
Okay, administrative report. Just a few things here. Parent-teacher conferences we had a few weeks ago. I was proud that elementary was at about a 98% parent guardian participation, and at the junior senior high we are at approximately 70%, which is up by almost 50% over the last 2 years. So that was pretty exciting. We had Mrs. Gates and Mrs. Lucas put on a craft show for our elementary fund and had over 57 vendors, Miss Farnham being one of them. Thank you. And they earned approximately $1,300 that went into our elementary fund. So that was very much appreciated. They do that every year, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. So it just keeps growing every year, and it's been great. Had great feedback. Wish me luck. Tomorrow, I'm taking the kids to the skating station, the high school kids. So we've got about 70 students, junior, senior high. They always complain, you do all the elementaries. I said, all right, we're going skating. And so that's happening tomorrow night. First aid kit. Last time I did this, I broke my tailbone. So, Allie, go ahead.
Okay, a couple things I wanted to mention too. So with the Veterans Day program, again, that was an honor to be able to host that and put that together. Definitely don't do it alone. A lot of help from our music program, our art department, the maintenance team for setting things up. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts there. So I really appreciate everybody's support on that. And I think it was a great day, as always. One of the big things that happened recently too, we had our National Honor Society induction ceremony. We welcomed 3 new students into our chapter this year, which it's really exciting for the kids because those of you that know, the eliteness of it, it's not easy to do. So part of the qualifying is just academics, and the rest of it is kind of a rigorous process to be selected. So we're really proud of our kids for that too. Speaking of National Honor Society, we are working to create the Junior National Honor Society right now. So 7th and 8th grade students, we've identified the qualifiers based on their academic performance so far. So we have 8 7th grade students and 8 8th grade students that have qualified. Miss Jerry Sturry is the one that is going to be running this. She's going to be the advisor. So she's working to put together an induction ceremony and the rest of the process for this too. But I think it's going to be a really good thing for our kids, a really good way to highlight our students at the junior high level for this too. And just like the National Honor Society, this is a real thing. It's through the same organization. So there's membership. The students will be officially elected and put into a chapter forever. So pretty exciting. One last thing I wanted to mention, the banners for our senior students go up tomorrow. They were supposed to do it today, but with the weather being so yucky, tomorrow's the day. So look for those around town here, hopefully tomorrow.
I'll jump back in. I have one important item that I wrote down and then I forgot to let the board. We have an issue with teacher appreciation grants. Heather is here because I've talked to Heather about it, as well as Laura on the Teachers Association. In the past, we received money from the state in December to give to all of the staff who were rated either highly effective or effective. And it turned out to be $400 to $500 per teacher, depending on how they were evaluated. Well, in the wisdom of the state, and I say that tongue in cheek, they have decided to change teacher appreciation grant so that only your top 20% of teachers in your corporation can get the grant. In addition to that, they reduced the amount of the grant. There are 3 categories. There's a $3,500 level, there's a $5,000 level, and there's a $7,500 level. And we are to distribute the money that we get from the state to at least 20% of our teachers who have done not only rating highly effective, but also served as mentor teachers and have to prove that their students grew by a certain amount in their academic performance, which is at the elementary level pretty easy to define because of the state readings or test results. But at the junior high and high school level, it becomes a lot more difficult for a PE teacher or a social studies teacher or a music teacher to have a way to figure out the growth of that particular student and their class. Besides that, it can only go for classroom teachers. So if you have special ed teachers, if you have instructional coaches, if you have guidance counselors, all of those folks right now are prohibited. I met with some state senators and reps along with other superintendents, and we expressed the dismay because we have a lot more than 20% of our teachers who are great teachers in our classrooms and can't be rewarded with this money. What it ends up doing, I believe, is becoming divisive among our staff, because we received 11, 12, we received, by the time we take taxes and turf out, we could give three $3,500 teacher appreciation grants to 3 teachers. And I have a lot of difficulty in doing that, because we could give out 35 teacher appreciation grants, in my opinion, because we have excellent teachers here and great teachers here. So in talking to the Teachers Association, Heather can chime in if she'd like to, but they, during teacher negotiations, this topic came up, even though it's not negotiated, and the teachers expressed that they were not interested in going forward with the teacher appreciation grants because of the divisiveness of the grants. I kind of agree with them, but at the same time, I need the board to give me some guidance on this, because I don't think this should be my decision, because it involves money from the state. If we don't use the money, we have to give it back to the state, is how this works. And so if we go forward, then we need to select 3 teachers. They need then to fill out some data that we need to review to make sure they would qualify, and we have to then distribute the money by April of 2026. So that's kind of where we're at. We don't have to make any type of motion or anything tonight, but I would be interested in any comments that you might have. I'm sorry I didn't put this in my board letter, because I should have, but I just want you to think about that. We can talk about it tonight. Julie, go ahead.
Just say, as a former teacher and having worked with a lot of them, number one, I'm not surprised that that's the way they chose, because the staff works together, and to point out 3 people that supposedly stand out that far doesn't represent our staff. And so for one thing, I'm proud of my former coworkers who said, no, we do not want you to divide our staff that way. And my feeling is, I think that's the way to go, is to say, especially if that's the way that they really feel about it, I'd say support the teachers.
Stacy's, your favor in not proceeding with it. Scott, you feel the same way? Okay. So that's the majority of the board. April, you want to chime in at all? Yeah, and Laura left already, but I know it was a negative vote. I don't know exactly the results.
Okay. We did take a vote. We did a Google Doc. I don't know the results from the Google Doc. I know we spoke about it in an ISTA meeting, and at the meeting, the consensus was we did not want the money. We would rather send it back to the state. I don't know that that was the official vote on the Google Doc. So I don't want to speak officially for everyone. My personal opinion is I would not want that money. I just feel like I work hard every day, and so do all of my coworkers. And it just would be really hard to say I deserve that more than any person working beside me or down the hallway from me. We all work as a team at Hamilton, and I feel we all should be rewarded as a team. And that's not a team effort. I just think it will divide our staff.
Yes. Yeah. And to limit it to the 20% of our staff is the hardest part for me, because we have a lot of teachers who should be in that list that we would have to limit. So if I'm hearing from the board, April, you're against it as well? Okay. Okay. All right, then we don't need a motion on this. I just need the board's support so that I can go back to the teachers and say that we are not going to pursue the teacher appreciation grant. I know Mrs. Richter and I have had quite a few conversations about it. If she was here, she would also be against it. In her opinion, it's not good for teachers, and she's a former great teacher that would not be rewarded by this grant. So thank you. I apologize. I didn't bring that up sooner.
Okay, where are we at? Were you done? Were you done, Kristen and Allie, both?
Yes.
School board member comments?
I just wanted to go back to the Veterans Day program. I know I texted Kristen afterward. Something I have seen over the years with that program, the kids are so well behaved. I don't know if solemnity is a word, but it's like they can feel what's going on. And they just every year are just, I don't know, just so attentive and quiet, and their singing was awesome, and it was just, as usual, a really great program.
Yeah, the singing to me, when you hear those elementary kids bellow out, it's a great thing, and for them to be able to sit there all that time too. So
I just realized we skipped the treasurer's report.
Nothing to add.
Brittany,
We're still
Brittany,
waiting on our budget.
we know you love to hog that
know,
mic
I
now.
know.
Come on.
We're just waiting on our budget order is all. That's what we've got going on.
All right, but we did skip over Mr. Prokop over there. He's got a mic in his hand. Look out. Go ahead, Dave.
I just wanted to give a quick athletics update. We are in full swing with winter sports. Boys 5-6 is off to a great start. I want to say 6-2 is their record now. Just recently got a big win against the school down the street that we were really excited about. 7-8 is in full motion as well. Boys basketball started last week. Girls just finished their 4th game of the season. We have our cheerleaders. We have, I think, 6 high school cheerleaders, which is more than last year, right at the same. We have more junior high cheerleaders this year than we definitely had last year. And then we also have some youth basketball going on. We are sending 4 3rd/4th grade teams and a 6th grade team to the play in Antwerp, Ohio on Saturdays. They're practicing now, and they're going 3 days a week. This is all volunteers, parents running this thing, and it's awesome. We also had Haley Manahan's coaching our junior high girls basketball. They don't start till January, and they ran like an open gym conditioning yesterday when we had an open gym space available, and she had 12 girls show up. And so our numbers are going up dramatically at the younger age, which is really exciting. We have youth volleyball. They don't play until the fall. In January, they've already had the gym space rented out on Sundays. We're talking 3rd and 4th graders that are going to be coming in. And so it is moving in the right direction youth wise. So it's really exciting. That's my update.
Any board comments? You know I always have at least one, always. I have just 2 quick things here. David, Mr. Prokop, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for that report. And you know as well as basically everybody sitting here, the only way to change our athletics is to start from the ground up. And I see we're so far above that now than we had been in the past, of building from the ground up. And that's really exciting to see what is going to come up through the school, in a few years. And we're going to struggle a little bit still, I think, with some certain teams and certain sports, but it's coming. And so thank you for that. And also, we just want to throw a little bit of a plug out for Mr. Reichardt here. For those that were at the Veterans Day program, you may have noticed the beautiful sparkly gowns that the choir was in. you may not know where those came from. Mr. Reichert found those. Did you find those on eBay? Oh,
new band director, Mr.
the new band director found them used down, what was it, Noblesville or somewhere? Scienceville. And Mr. Reichert drove down there at the last minute and picked all those up so those kids could look great in all matching, like
And I think
new
you need to
stuff.
I think you need to take a couple of the dresses and make ties for the boys out of it.
it was
And
really
they
neat
could
to see.
glitter right
So
along with the girls.
And thank you, but our fine arts program sometimes doesn't get the recognition it deserves. But from last year with Mrs. Reese and now this year with Mr. Mettert, it's exciting to me to see that as a superintendent, and I'll do anything I can to make our programs better, and I want that to look good for our veterans. So thank you, Mr. Lucas, and no problem.
that was it for me. So anything else from anybody? Just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second that.
All right, motion made in second. Favor? Adjourned.
Aye.
All right, out of here.